You're listening to Pombo and Peter's Picks, the home of your favorite sports betting podcast, presented by The Daily Goat.
Let's transition into some baseball now. So we're going to bring in Matt Cunha to come preview the American League. Matt has famously done our graphics, and I believe last year he also helped us preview and predict the American League, which was a lot of fun last year. How are we doing, Matt?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing good. We're doing good. You ready for baseball season?
It couldn't be more ready. I didn't think it was going to happen.
And
Open day should
ironically,
be 2 days from now.
I was
Or
just gonna
today
say
when
that.
it drops.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't have time to go in any games on that.
But you know what? It might honestly work out because at this time of year in Boston, well, this week particularly, it's like 30 degrees. It does not feel like baseball season right now in terms of weather-wise. It did like a couple weeks ago, but now it's just back to being frigidly cold and gross.
That's all right. We can go in like June or July or
Yeah.
August or whatever.
Oh, absolutely. But maybe in 2 weeks when they finally, or 2-3 weeks when they finally start up, it'll feel like baseball season. We'll get some nice weather. And honestly, if the season wasn't delayed, how many rainouts do you think we'd end up with? We were talking about it, Peter. What do you think? 4 of the first 10 games at least or something?
At least like one. At least.
Yeah,
At least.
It always happens in the Northeast, especially with late March baseball. But this is what we're going to do. We did the same thing last year, and we're going to run the same format this year. We're going to break down division by division. We're going to go over win total. Myself, Matt, and Peter are going to say over or under, kind of give a few seconds about why we think so. And then at the end of each division, we'll pick who we think wins the division and so on. So do we want to start with the AL East, AL West, or AL Central? I say we do the AL East first or last. Up to you guys.
Save the good for last.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
do that. We can
All
do
right,
that.
so let's go. We'll start with the AL Central then. What do we think?
Sure.
Sound good? All right, let's run it. American League Central here. Let's start off with the Chicago White Sox. So all these win totals are according to DraftKings. The White Sox are currently favored to win the AL Central. Their total is set at 91.5 wins. Their odds to win the division are minus 195. So, Peter, we'll start off with you. What do you think about that White Sox win total of 91.5?
I think it's right on course. They won 93 games last year. I think Michael Kopech's one of the best bullpen arms in that division. They obviously have Jose Abreu, and I think that division overall is trash. So I think the White Sox can eat up everybody.
So you're taking the over.
Yeah, I have the over.
Okay, Matt, what do you got?
I have the under just because I don't devalue their division as much as Peter is. Like the Tigers are competitors now. Shout out Noah.
Yes, Matt.
Oh,
was
I
just
mean,
gonna
I'll
say
get there.
that.
I'm high on the Tigers too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I don't really count the Twins. I think like Correa is just going to be there for a year and leave, but they'll have two easy teams. However times they play them with the Guardians and the Royals, but
Mhm.
the Tigers, you should watch out for them. They might finish second.
So you're just that. Well, so I feel like you're more high on the rest of the division, which,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you said, de-emphasizes the White Sox.
Yeah, so they won 93 wins last season with a
Yep.
shittier division. So
Exactly. So, okay,
it's gonna be
I see what you're
close.
saying. I'm going to take the slight under. I think they're going to win like 90 to 91. I like the reasoning Matt gave with the Tigers and the AL Central potentially becoming a little bit better. I still have some question marks about that team. I wouldn't say I'm worried about Tony La Russa, but it feels like early on last year they kind of went through a little bit of a rough patch. They got through it and they ended up prevailing, but I'm curious how it's going to look in another year there. I'm going to take the under at, like I said, they're going to win 90 to 91. I think they're going to be a great team, and I just like them a slight under here. Moving on here to the Minnesota Twins. The Twins win total is set at 81.5, and their odds to win the division are plus 500. So this time we'll start off with Matt. What do you think of the Twins?
They're mediocrity at their finest. They got Carlos Correa, but I think he's just wanted a stopgap until he got the bag. And the Twins probably offered him the most money for a single year deal. So he's going to stop there. They'll get slightly over the 81.5, maybe 82, 83, and then that'll be it. And then they'll be back to even worse next year when Correa leaves.
All right, I agree with you, Matt. I'm gonna take the over here. It's close. Like I think they're gonna flirt with 500, but ultimately I think they probably win 83, 84 games. Do you remember a couple years ago when everybody thought the Minnesota Twins were the next like hot young team in baseball, and they kind of fell flat in their face a couple different times? I feel like a lot of people, when they won 101 games in 2019, everybody thought they'd take that next jump. That just hasn't been the case. Last year they went 73 and 89, and I think they're going to bounce back a little bit, and they're not going to win like 100 games but I don't think they're going to win 70 games. So they're going to be like right in the middle. So like, I think 84, 85, I think that's who they truly are. Carlos Correa obviously helps the cause, even if it's just a short 1 year kind of thing. He's clearly going to be engaged and ready to play because he wants that long-term deal. I think he helps him there. So I'm going to take the over on that. Peter, what about you?
I have the slight under. As you said last year, they're probably the biggest disappointment behind the Padres. So I like the Sonny Gray move from the Reds, but I really think that they're just going to do the slight under. And any team with Gary Sanchez, I mean, you gotta hate him, right?
It's a fair point. Can't really argue with that.
Justin for having reason to hate Gary Sanchez now.
Justin is very disappointed about Gio Urshela, though. He's very upset about that one.
Hey, I mean, I'll take Gio for the shortstop they got and Josh Donaldson.
I loved Donaldson, like, I don't know, 7 years ago. I loved him as a player. I mean, he's up there in age now, but we'll see what he does with the Yankees. Moving on to a team that we were just talking about, the Detroit Tigers. Feels like the Tigers are kind of gaining steam I'd say nationally and everything else. So the Tigers right now are set at 77.5 wins, and their odds to win the division are a plus 750. So the Tigers, shout out Noah again, have obviously had a streak since probably like 2016 where they haven't been able to have a winning season. A lot of people believe that this is finally the year they can break through. They have some sort of stability with their young talent now. And I feel like we might be consensus on this one, but I'm going to take the over. I think the Tigers can win 82 games. I really do. I don't think that's out of the question. This team is young and up and rising. I like the additions they've made. It feels like they finally have built up the cupboard of young players since Dave Dombrowski kind of blew it all up like 10 years ago. And I like the over here. I really do. And I think this will be their first winning season since 2016. Shout out Noah.
I mean,
what do you got?
No, go ahead.
So like you said, shout out Noah, but they are finally over the Dave Dombrowski era, and maybe Noah will finally take a picture with Dave Dombrowski next time he sees him at Foxwoods.
I would put those odds at a plus 50,000.
Wait, what is it?
Where Noah didn't want to take the picture of when we saw Dave Dombrowski at Winter Weekend.
Yeah. Classic. Noah took the picture of us. He did not want to be any part of it. I'll never forget it. Dombrowski's walking. I think it was me, Matt, Dylan of Cheap Talk Wrestling, and Noah of Rough in the Basket. We're walking at Foxwoods for Red Sox Winter Weekend. And we see Dombrowski, and we're like, oh my gosh. Like, at the time, he was the Red Sox general manager, president of baseball ops. And we were like, oh, we had to get a picture with him. And Noah did not want to be anywhere near Dombrowski. Like, he's like, this guy screwed over my franchise. We're going to be in the basement for the next decade. I'm not taking a picture with him. I'll take the picture for you guys, but I don't want to be in that. And Noah is a diehard Tigers fan. So,
well, again, that's the biggest choke job they've ever done. They've literally had.
Oh my gosh! Look at that roster they had.
Scherzer, Verlander, Rick Porcello, Anibal Sanchez, Victor Martinez,
JD Martinez. Seriously,
Jordan Zimmerman.
Loaded. Did you say Miguel Cabrera? I don't know if you said him.
Yeah, Miguel Cabrera.
Loaded.
Poor Noah.
So what's your take on it, Peter?
But I mean, yeah, I'll ride the train. They're a hard over. If it wasn't for the AL East, which we'll get later, I think they could have snuck into the playoffs. But they have a bright future, and I think they're headed in the right direction.
Me too. And I think that's good to see because that team, look, like they went through a lot after Dombrowski kind of left and they faded through. Like, of course, they had some great seasons, but they were never able to win the World Series. They only made it there once, and I believe they lost in the ALCS twice. Like, that's just tough to swallow when you have a roster as good as what they had. Like, again, they had some 90 plus win seasons, just weren't able to finish.
They should have beat the Red Sox in 2013.
And they weren't able to finish that. Yeah. And then you look at the Red Sox. I mean, I don't want to put this back to the Red Sox, but the Red Sox won a World Series with Dombrowski. So you look at it and it was worth it. The Tigers, if they would have won a World Series, it would have been worth it. And they just didn't.
You just can't build a bullpen.
Yeah, I guess so, right?
Can do it here either, but that's all right.
Yep. Moving on here, but I also think AJ Hinch. I think that was a great addition.
Forgot about
Obviously, Hinch got blown out from Houston. I thought he's going to land on his feet in Detroit, and I feel like he is somebody perfect to lead this young Detroit Tigers team. Moving on to the Cleveland Guardians, Peter. The Guardians. Yes, Cleveland Guardians. Love the name. They are set at 76.5 wins, and their odds to win the division are a whopping plus 950. Peter, what do you think about the Cleveland Guardians? Just feels weird saying it, doesn't it?
That team name is so lame. So that alone under.
The logo's
but,
worse.
I mean, they literally did nothing in the offseason. They let people walk. And especially if Jose Ramirez gets dealt, who do they have? That's all I got to say. I mean, they have Shane Bieber. Yeah. They have Shane Bieber.
Yeah, I was going to say Bieber. Good. And I don't know if Ramirez is going to get dealt.
Really? Yeah. I do. They're going to be in the basement, and they should just do not trade him to the Blue Jays, but it's fine.
So you like the under here?
Yeah.
Okay. Matt, what do you do?
Same thing. Just because they didn't go with the Spiders, they get a hard under. I was so firm in the Spiders camp, it's ridiculous, and then they destroyed it.
Yeah, the Guardians are just not popular. When you look at this Guardians franchise, right? As bad as we feel that they are, which I feel like we unanimously kind of feel, they haven't had a losing record since 2012 here. I think Terry Francona has done a great job of stabilizing the organization as a whole, and of course they've moved a lot of their pieces over the years, and it feels like now the cupboard is kind of empty. But I also like the under here. I do. I think they're probably going to win like 75 games, 73 games around there. It just feels like they're not ready to contend. Now, if some injuries occur and things get weird, I don't rule Terry Francona out of anything, but when you just look at how this team is built, like Peter said, if they move on from Jose Ramirez, like what do they do?
Hopefully he can manage the whole season though.
Yeah, hopefully
for a long time.
Absolutely. So and he's going to be 63 years old in a couple weeks. So that's obviously he's getting up there in age, but it feels like his teams he hasn't had the most talent in Cleveland, and it feels like he always finds a way to just finagle his way in there. So this could be a sneaky one we're kind of sleeping on, but I don't think so. I just don't personally.
Stupid Guardians.
Yeah, stupid Guardians. Last but not least, the Kansas City Royals. DraftKings has them set at 74.5 wins. Their odds to win the division are plus 1,500. So they have the longest odds to win the AL Central. So Matt, what do you think of the Royals?
I have them on with an under, but I don't. They could surprise us, go over. It's bottom barrel of the team like the Orioles. Like they go over under. It all depends on what they want to do. How many games they got with the Guardians?
Yeah, that's true.
18 or something.
Whatever it is.
All even. I just want to ship the Guardians more.
I think I like the over. So last year they finished with 74 wins. And it wouldn't shock me if they won like 77, 78 this year. I understand they don't really have the pieces that a team like the Tigers has, but I don't necessarily rule them out of flirting with 500, coming up a little short, which I think will ultimately be their fate. We'll see if they're going to be able to build upon some different things that they have been able to. I take the over and I don't like it, but I'm going to roll with it. It's just tough to forecast this division because I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of it's kind of just projecting. You know what I mean? Because a lot of it are just these young.
Wasn't this all
teams.
it is?
No, but it feels like
we're all projecting.
Yeah, but we're basing it off of talent that we don't really. I think we both like what the Tigers have going for them, and we all kind of hate what the Guardians have going for them. But maybe the Tigers fall like the Twins did because I don't know. We'll see. I feel like this division is just difficult to read. That's all. What do you got? What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I have this slight over just because Salvador Perez has been around for a long time. I don't think he's ever gonna die. I like the addition of Zach Greinke. I think he's gonna mentor whoever they have in their pitching staff. Couldn't tell you one person other than Zach Greinke. But I mean, they do have the best prospect in baseball.
That's fair.
Hollywood Jr. That's gonna tell if they're really, really bad. They're gonna just call him up immediately, or if they're just gonna like level him out. Because I don't think they can do that stupid thing, the arbitrate or like the service time crap. So
yeah, that should be interesting. And what we've seen from Mike Matheny as the manager now, formerly of the St. Louis Cardinals, is it feels like he's going to grind through it. He had some success with the Cardinals, but ultimately he was fired, and the Royals brought him in, and I thought that was a good addition. Now he hasn't had a season above 500 yet, but I think he has a clue, which is important. Now, who do you like to win the division now, Peter?
Just out of principle, I have the White Sox. I don't think any of the other teams are that good. And even if the White Sox fall off a little bit, I don't think the Twins or even the Tigers can compete with their 90-win team.
Yep. Matt, who do you have winning the division?
I got the White Sox. I don't think it's going to be White Sox, Tigers, Twins, but they can't get up to as high as the White Sox.
I agree with you guys. I'm going to take the White Sox. I hope the Twins kind of regain the momentum they had from 2019. I'm rooting for that story because I think that would be interesting. But I just don't necessarily see it. I like this White Sox team. I like what they have building. I like the young talent. Peter talked about Michael Kopech earlier. I'm so excited to see what he can do when he's healthy. And who knows if this White Sox team is done adding. We still got a couple weeks to go here, and they've been linked to some other potential free agents, trade targets. So I like the White Sox here, and I think heading into the playoffs, a lot of people could be saying the White Sox are the favorites to come out of the American League. That wouldn't surprise me. I said the same thing last year, but it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to the American League West. This division could get a little bit more wild. I think there's a lot of intrigue with this division because there is some uncertainty. This division took some substantial losses from a number of different teams. We'll start off with arguably the biggest in the Houston Astros. According to DraftKings, they are set at 91.5 wins. They are the favorite to win the division at -175. The Astros obviously lost Carlos Correa in the offseason, and they're going to try to repeat from the American League. Matt, what do you think about the Astros? Feels like everybody hates them this year.
I don't hate them that much. I just don't know their division's so weird. I don't trust the Angels to do anything because they're always like mediocre at best. The Mariners are tricky. Like I feel like this division they always play the other teams well. So It's all going to even out. But I have a under for the Astros, like 90 to 89 wins.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to also take the under. And it feels like I'm kind of, I don't want to say falling into peer pressure, but it feels like I'm kind of just reading out how everyone hates the Astros. And I'm kind of, more and more I read about it, the more and more I agree with it. But the fact of the matter is they've been in the World Series 2 of the last 3 years. They were in Game 7 of the ALCS in one of those years. It feels like they're always there at the end in the American League. But I'm going to take the under reluctantly because it feels like the losses they've had could begin to mount. But it just when you feel like they're dead, they're just like, screw you. Here we are again. Back in the ALCS. What are you going to do? Oh, yeah, we're going to beat you. Like that just feels like they're a team that everybody loves to hate, clearly from the incident a couple years ago. And just I feel like some of the personalities on the team, a lot of people around, just fans, they just don't really gravitate towards because it feels like a lot of people dislike Jose Altuve, dislike that kind of core they've built. Peter, what do you think?
So this is a bet I'm gonna actually do in real life. I have a hard under. I don't think the Astros are gonna be good this year. They have talent.
Guys, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put all your faith into Justin Verlander coming out with the Tommy John surgery or whatever, the Achilles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What is he, like 40 years old? Lance McCullers is already hurt.
Maybe.
I don't think they have pitching to figure it out. They have one of the best lineups in baseball, even without Correa. But I just don't trust the Astros, and I like this division as a whole, to be honest with you. Even if people are crapping on it.
I don't think anyone's crap. Like, I think people are intrigued by it because I think a lot of people are thinking like you, Peter. Oh, this is the year the Angels put it together. This is the year the Mariners put it together. And I think a lot of people are kind of seeing that the Astros could be weak by what they've grown accustomed to over the last 5 or so years. So I don't think that, like, Peter, I've read a lot of people that agree with you about that. So that wouldn't shock me. It feels like it seems like a consensus pick that the Astros could be a disappointment. Moving on to the Angels.
Before you move on, Jay, I also want to add, I don't trust Dusty Baker at all. I don't like him as a manager.
Not a Dusty
I feel
Baker
like
guy.
No, I just feel like AJ Hinch was such a good manager that it's hard to replace him. Maybe he was such good because of trash cans, but I also
we can't really talk about that.
I know I agree with Matt though. But AJ Hinch is a better manager than Dusty Baker.
Yeah,
in my
that's what
opinion.
I mean.
I agree with Matt. I agree with that.
I'm over the whole trash can thing. Like, it's whatever at this point.
Yeah.
I just
Like,
don't.
I'm not a Dusty Baker guy either. I'm not. Like, I thought when they made the hire, I was surprised about it because Dusty Baker is this veteran that I don't want to call him a failed veteran because he's been there for years and years and yet he's knocked on the door for many years and he's respected and all that. He's an adult in the room. So like I understood it from that standpoint, but I thought they could have did a little bit better in terms of finding a manager to replace AJ Hinch. But he did make it to the World Series last year and he took him all the way to 6 games. And I don't know. He impressed me during that playoff run. So I give him a little bit of respect for that. So we'll see. Again, it's just when you say the Astros are done, they say LOL, and here they are again. It feels like they are like the Yankees in terms of people just disliking them, and they're just always there. They're like the Yankees from like the early 2000s.
Oh, we'll get there. Yankees aren't going to win anything. Yankees.
Okay. What was I doing? Oh, Angels.
Sorry.
I almost just said let's move on to the Yankees, Peter. I'm all messed up. Angels, their total is set at 83.5, and their odds to win the division are plus 400. So the Angels, it feels like a lot of people who wouldn't want to watch the Angels with Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, and all those talented individuals they have on that team. And I think when you look at the Angels, they are not afraid to buy their talent. We saw that over the years, but they've just never been able to put it together, whether it's injuries, disappointment, whatever it may be. They just haven't been able to do it. A lot of it's been the fault because they haven't been able to build a pitching staff over the last couple of years. I feel like that's been a real thorn in their side, and it feels like that's why they've kind of faltered. But is this year they're finally going to be healthy and maybe the division's up for the taking? Peter, what do you think of the Angels?
So they still don't have a pitching staff, which is
like the 28th straight year.
Maddening. And it's crazy because you have the best 2 players in baseball on top of their MVP thing. So like it's so hard for the Angels. I have the over ultimately. I think this might be the year that Mike Trout actually sneaks into the playoffs. Nobody's talking about Anthony Rendon either.
Yeah. That's another one that they spent a pretty penny on. And remember, they came out of nowhere to win the sweepstakes to land him a couple years ago. I remember I was shocked because everyone thought that, they were shoo-in to land a $200 million pitcher. And they were like, nope, we're going to land a $200 million bat instead.
We'll sign Noah Syndergaard that pitches like 15 innings like the last 3 seasons.
And like, if Syndergaard's healthy and sure, but that's just a big if to me. And I wouldn't bank on him at all. I'm actually going to take, this one's tough because I love Shohei Ohtani. He's arguably my favorite player in baseball. I'm going to take the under. I think they win like 81, 82 games. And it's just going to be what has happened over the last 5 or so years. It's just going to be below expectations. They've flirted with 500 since 2016. Their win totals, we're going to exclude the COVID year. 2021, they had 77 wins. 2019, they had 72 wins. 2018, 80 wins. 2017, 80 wins. 2016, 74 wins. 2015, 85 wins. Like they're always hovering. I just feel like the trend's going to continue. I like the under here. And I'm not saying they're going to be bad, but they get 80 wins, 81 wins. Matt, what do you think about the Angels?
This was the one I think I changed mine like 3 different times.
It's tough.
I like Shohei. I don't know. I've never been a big Mike Trout guy. I just feel like he's the greatest mediocre player. I don't want to call him mediocre because he's the greatest player ever, but he never has that it factor. Like he never elevates the team. He elevates himself, doesn't elevate baseball. I think I'm also salty for him where he should be the face of baseball and he's just like, no thanks, I'll sit in my recliner.
I've been saying it for so long. If you like, obviously everybody knows who LeBron and like Brady is. If you put Mike Trout in just like a sea of people, nobody will know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
No. There was a study, I believe it was ESPN, that they did. They concluded like a study with random people that concluded that there was 44 more popular NBA athletes than Mike Trout.
It makes sense.
Like there was, I might have my stats wrong, but Kenneth Faried was as equivalent to Mike Trout in terms of like knowing who he was and all that fun stuff. And Kenneth Faried, I mean, He was literally just a rotation piece for the
I don't know
Denver
who
Nuggets.
Kenneth Murray
Yeah, I
is.
don't know who that is.
I know who he is. I mean, the point is that Mike Trout's in the same conversation as him
Bad
is
times.
bad. And I agree with that point where it can be frustrating, but he's so good when he's healthy. Obviously, he dealt with injuries last year.
Yeah.
We'll get into it next week, but did the MLB screw up and give Shohei Ohtani the MVP last year?
No,
Because it sets a bad precedent. Because like if he does it again and pitches, wins like 7 games or whatever, and like hits like 30 and 110,
No, it would be like Tom Brady. You can't give the MVP to Tom Brady just because because he's the greatest quarterback of that year.
no,
You can't. It's most valuable player.
in the
yeah, but
MLB
it's
and the NFL,
unprecedented. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers, and he just slugs 30 and
He'll
100.
throw out his ACL.
the MLB and the NFL are at different points because the MLB needs to kind of establish some of their talent in terms of marketability, in terms of knowing who they are, and Shohei Ohtani winning the MVP brings some conversation towards him, which is absolutely justified.
Oh, right. I mean,
so I think that obviously went into it as well, and I think Ohtani was phenomenal last year. I understand what you're saying, like that makes sense.
if he
but-
does it again, like how isn't he the unanimous MVP, regardless of anybody, of what
Well,
anybody does?
He has had some injury concerns in his career. So maybe that stops him. I think that the only thing that could stop Shohei Ohtani from hitting his ceiling is injuries. So I don't rule
Right.
that out. But I see what you're saying because that's what he's going to do for the rest of his career is what he just kind of did. So it makes sense. And if that's the case, but baseball benefits because of it, I'm okay with it personally. But I understand what you're saying.
Go back to my win total. I do have the over for the Angels.
You do have the over. Okay.
Yeah.
So Matt's pro Ohtani, anti Trout, it feels like.
Yeah. I'm an anti-Trout personality.
Anti-Trout personality. Do you think you would do better in a bigger market that actually cared about baseball, like in New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago?
I think he would be forced to. Like if he was in Boston, the fans would make him more marketable, not for his own choice, or even New York. New York.
Or what if he played for the Dodgers?
Cubs would market the hell out of him.
What about the Dodgers?
Yeah, same thing. They have their star-studded thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm rethinking this now. There's so many talent. There's so much talent on that team.
He just kind of blend in.
He might just blend in.
Yeah, but if he went to the Chicago Cubs and he was the face of the
Cubs, like Cardinals.
Yeah, or the
like,
same.
You see all the press Albert Pujols just got for going back to the Cardinals. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's his retirement tour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good for him.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, Matt. I know everyone's gonna hate this, but if Mike Trout played for the Yankees, I feel like he would become a polarizing figure in Major League Baseball. I think people would learn to hate him, which would actually help market him.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how everyone's always like, anti-Yankees and all this kind of stuff. Mike Trout's there, arguably the best player in baseball right now. I think that would only enhance his ability to kind of burst onto the scene with young people and all that sort of thing. He's also not really a huge social media guy too. I don't know if that has much to do with it. I think it does to some ability because it feels like being witty and being active on social media helps people know who you are. Not saying that's the end all be all, but I believe that it does play a small part of it. And if you're Mike Trout, I mean, that's not your obligation to be the face of baseball. You didn't stay with the Angels to be the face like that. You didn't sign up to do that. That's not part of your day-to-day job. So that could be more a Major League Baseball problem than him. But interesting on Mike Trout. We'll see. Maybe this will be, but again, Peter, to piggyback what you were just saying before we move on here, if the Angels make the playoffs, could this be where Mike Trout kind of takes off in terms of the popularity factor?
Yeah, I mean, it'll help. He's been there one time in his career, which isn't absolutely.
We need a deep playoff run, like ALCS. He's making these diving catches.
But I feel like it's going to be more on Ohtani because he's going to just pitch out of the bullpen and be a starter for
the
whole
right.
playoff. I mean, I don't know.
No, that's a good point. And I think Ohtani might have already passed Trout, which
in marketability, definitely. But.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not comparing them as players, but just in terms of knowing who they are. Actually, one last thing. Remember that article I wrote for dailygoats.com on Shohei Ohtani? Remember that one blew up?
Yeah, because everyone loves him.
Because everybody loves
China,
Ohtani.
US.
You should have
me,
saw
I-
all like the different countries that were clicking on the article. It was just crazy. Like he's an international figure. Just crazy to see. If I read it
Oh, when
about
he
Mike
hits
Trout,
free agency in 2 years, ask for
Mhm.
$500 million.
yeah,
Easy.
absolutely.
He's gonna get
Easy.
paid.
Moving on to another popular team, the Seattle Mariners. Their win total is set at 83.5 wins, and their odds to win the division are at plus 450. So the Mariners, I kind of lumped them in with the Detroit Tigers. It feels like a lot of people are kind of liking them this year in terms of finally on the come up here. Peter, I know you're a big Mariners guy. I'll start with you.
Oh my God, I love the Mariners. I'm picking the over. I'm picking their. I mean, we'll get it. We're picking the division. Took Robbie Ray from the Blue Jays, Cy Young winner. They took Jesse Winker and Oreo Suarez from the Reds. I think they're gonna be pretty good. And if I have the Astros, if the Astros don't win, I think the Mariners are gonna just come away with it, and they're America's team. So, and they'll erase their 22-year playoff drought or whatever stupid it is.
Oh, it's the last time they made the playoffs was in 2001, I think.
Yeah,
2001.
against the Yankees.
It's been a long time.
2001. It's been a long time. I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to take the over. I like what the Mariners did this offseason. I think they had probably, what do you guys think? A top 5 offseason, and obviously offseason and games won don't necessarily translate, but do you think they had like a top 5 offseason in terms of additions? Because I feel like they should be right in the conversation.
Yeah, they got additions and they have a good farm system. So they have young studs coming up.
Exactly. It's not like 100%. And they won 90 games last year and almost made the playoffs. So it feels like they're building towards something. I'm going to take the over. I think they probably win like 87, 88 games. And I think this was one that I was surprised was only set at 83.5 wins, honestly. Because they won, like I said, they won 90 games last year. I thought this would be closer to 85, 86. But maybe people aren't as in love with the Mariners as Peter is. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, hard over. I just trust them to the Angels are mediocre, so I wouldn't be surprised if the division went like Mariners, Astros, Angels.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like
Yeah,
the
I wouldn't
Angels
either.
get 84 wins, the Mariners get 90, and then the Astros get 89.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Anyone else have
Tricky
anything to
division to
say?
bet on.
That is a tricky one, Peter. I bet you're going to bet on the Mariners, right?
Yeah,
sure.
over
Real cash.
division.
Okay.
Maybe even more serious.
I'm gonna call you.
Is
I'm
that the
gonna
new
call you out
Phoenix
on this.
Suns?
Maybe, and then plus 6,000 win the
Gotta
World
find the
Series.
new Phoenix Suns. If you know, you know.
I'm gonna call you this out. I'm gonna call Pombo on this, and Peter will actually have a ticket for it.
Nice. Thanks, Matt.
I know.
Well.
I can't wait till my Nikola Jokic ticket is going to cash again for the second consecutive year. That's truly unfortunate. Peter, I don't even want to know how much I would have if I put $100 on Jokic for the last 2 years to win MVP.
Especially last year.
Oh my God, I know.
So for them.
Oh, I know. Oh, I should just buy a Jokic jersey instead and just say screw the ticket. Feels like exactly where I'm going to
Buy a card.
Goldberg, where you at, bro? All right. Moving on to the Texas Rangers. The Rangers are set at 74.5 wins. Their odds to win the division are at plus 1,800. So the Texas Rangers are a team that are mostly in a rebuild, but they spent a little bit of money. And they have that new stadium. Are they using the new stadium this year or is it next year? This year, right?
They've already started using it. The barn.
This year's the first year? Or they used it last year?
Yeah, they used it last year.
Oh, they used it last year. Okay, so they have that new
Barn.
stadium. They spent a lot of money. So what do we think of the Rangers? They're set at, like I said, 74.5. Peter, what do you think?
I have them the slight under. They won 60 games. That's a lot of games, even with Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. They still don't have a pitching staff. I think they're gonna be a decent, but I think it's 1 year too soon. Next year though.
They're the Tigers of 2023.
Yeah.
I like the over. I think they can win like 78, 77. I know that's a big jump. Like that's like almost a 20-win jump, which is difficult to do, but the money they spent, and I could see a scenario in which they're willing to dump some of their younger, I shouldn't say dump, but trade some of their younger talent to acquire some different pitching. Because all the moves they made in free agency are kind of more towards like a win now mode, which in reality might be just to sell tickets. So I could see a scenario in which they go all in per se at the trade deadline and try to make a run at it. Obviously, because of that extra wild card, more teams believe they have an opportunity. I could see the Rangers believe that they have a shot and take a shot at it. I like the over here. I think they win like 78 games.
I'm a hard under for them. I just don't
Not a
trust them.
Texas guy.
They spent money. They might not have enough money to pay their mortgage on this new stadium after this season, with not selling tickets. Although
Hey, they don't have income tax. It's Texas.
That's true.
That's true.
I heard that
but their
stadium's
stadium
really
was
nice.
packed last season, if I remember correctly, because that was the whole.
Sure.
That was the no mask stadium.
Was
Remember,
I don't
it was
remember.
packed. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
I
the only
don't
stadium you saw the
remember.
thing packed. I don't want to.
I know they
dropped.
I know they dropped a lot of money on it, like a real lot of money on it, and that's why they made it a point of emphasis to really spend money to show the fans like they're committed to win. They didn't just build the stadium just for shits and giggles, like they were committed to win, which I respect. But it feels like there's still some things they need to do, and it feels like they need to necessarily pick a direction. Like Peter said, they kind of have that raw pitching staff, some young guys aren't necessarily ready. But I'll still take the over. I guess
They're doing it the Angel way.
Yeah, you're right. But it will get you like 78 wins though, Peter.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, the Oakland A's. The A's win total is set at 70.5 wins. Their odds to win the division are the longest at plus 3,000. So the A's, they dished off some talent recently, and they're a team that have low expectations. The A's clearly are in a rebuild mode, but I guess you can never really count out what Billy Beane has up his sleeve. They won 86 games last year. Matt, what do you think of the A's?
This is probably the team I'm the most mad at. I really liked what the A's had going, and they're just like, nah.
Me too.
And
That's what they always do, though. That's just what they do.
I know, but I was hoping Billy Beane was gonna, like, I don't know. I trusted him to kind of change the roadmap for the A's. Like, no more Moneyball.
Yeah, and Bob Melvin's not there anymore. He went to San Diego. And I thought Melvin did a pretty good job in Oakland. I mean, he had a couple 90-win seasons, and we all know that payroll is virtually nothing. And being able to win 90 or so games is very impressive, especially when you're dealing with teams like the bigger market teams, which have a substantial advantage in terms of spending power and everything else. But the A's, they're kind of punting, it looks like. I guess who knows? Peter, what do you think about the A's?
Yeah, I have them hard under. If it's not the Reds in the National League, I think they're going to be the worst team in baseball. Even ahead of the Orioles, dealt away Matt Chapman, Matt Olson. They're going to deal away Sean Manaea, Frankie Montes. Please go to the Red Sox. But, yeah, they don't have talent, and I just don't know how they're going to fill out their roster, to be honest with you.
You know, there's been a lot of years where everyone counts out the A's, and they make a late season push, and they always fall short. Obviously,
it's not this year. They have not.
They don't.
No, I'm not saying it's
even
this year.
Get there.
Can they win 72 games?
No.
Screw it. I'll be different. I'll take it. Why not? I'll take the over on that. When you look at the A's, I understand there's really nothing to be excited about, but I trust Billy Beane. I'm sorry. I do. I think he gets 72 wins. Why not? Right?
That's fair.
Why not? 72. I mean, I know they dished off a lot of talent. They had 86 wins last year. So is it crazy if they get, maybe if they get 15 less losses, they're still at 71? I guess I'll take that. I like the A's. I like how they build their organization. I like what they do with the limited resources. I just think that's so impressive. Like same thing with the Tampa Bay Rays. I think that's just so incredible how they're able to compete. The Rays have taken it to a new level because the Rays have been competitive in the AL East for almost a decade now. It feels like, and they've been World Series caliber for about a decade. And the A's, they've had their spurts, but they haven't been able to do what the Rays have yet anywhere. But shout out Billy Beane. Love Billy Beane. You like Moneyball, Peter?
Yeah, it's a top 5 movie of mine, actually.
It might be my favorite sports movie, honestly. It really might be.
No, it's a Blindside.
I think it is.
For me. Or
Blindside, that's another good one.
Under the Lights or whatever it's called.
Under the Lights.
Friday Night Lights or something.
Oh, Friday Night Lights, yeah. Matt, do you have a favorite sports movie?
I'm not a big movie guy. It's not Star Wars.
I should have known that. All right.
But Matt, Lego Star Wars next week, bro.
I already have it pre-ordered. I'm ready to get, and I pre-ordered it, so I get a little minifigure. I'm so ready. Yeah, don't get me started on this. Let's not go off.
Do you get that for the regular pre-order?
No deluxe.
All right. Well, I'm not paying you.
You suck. Poverty.
I guess. Poverty.
Let's not get on this tangent.
So just quickly, Justin of the Bo Sox, he originally pre-ordered it for the Switch, but I convinced him to not get it for the Switch and for the PlayStation?
You wanted to play it. That's the only reason why.
You could,
Yeah. Why am I gonna? Why do I want him to buy it for the
It's
Switch?
better
And I
on the
can't play
Switch.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
No, but then I can't play it, Matt.
Exactly.
Wait, are you getting it for the Switch?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting it for the PlayStation. I was
Yeah, I
gonna
feel
do
like
the Switch, and
Wouldn't you think the
have
graphics
you have
would probably be
PS5,
better
though.
on the
I understand
PlayStation?
that.
But wouldn't the
Yeah.
graphics be better on the PlayStation?
It's Lego. It's not gonna. Maybe. I haven't seen new age Lego, so who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. As Matt's sirens go, wee woo.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
sorry about
didn't
that.
mean to. I didn't mean to divert it. So.
Just make another promo like the Bo Sox did of all the sirens going by every 5 seconds. I kind of don't even hear them anymore.
When Matt finds out Lego Star Wars, he's taking a police escort to get to the store.
I do.
That's
And
the
then
sirens
I
you
have
hear.
it pre-ordered to a GameStop in Boston so I can get it that day. And I have an exam due that day, so it's
Sure
gonna be
you'll
a
there. I'm sure you'll be there at like 9 a.m.
as soon as I can.
No,
All
midnight,
right.
bro. Come on, midnight release.
Last but not least, Peter, ready for this line here. Last but not least, the AL East. You like that one, Peter? That was good.
Oh my god.
So the AL East, which we have our eyes set towards as Boston Red Sox fans. Let's save the Red Sox win total for last, right? Because Matt said save the best for last, right? So
Sure.
let's
The
start
Yankees.
off. Let's start off with the. You want to start with the Yankees?
Oh, wait, who do you have in
Yeah,
the
'cause they
division?
suck,
Who do you
so
have
you
in the
go first, go worst.
AL West?
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault, Peter. To win the AL West, I have the Astros. I do. I think they win 90 games.
Boo.
I know. Boo. I suck. Boo. Cheetahs. Boo. I know. I take them. I trust me. I want to pick the Angels so bad, but I just freaking can't do it. I can't do it.
Can't put your money on them.
Can't do it. Astros.
Put
I
it
say
on the
pick.
Mariners, bro. Come on.
Can't do it. Sorry, buddy.
Calm that.
No, I have the Astros too.
You got to take.
Oh
the Astros.
my.
Peter, I hope
Shouldn't
you're
even-
right.
I don't think that would be a real life bet for me, but
I
would
shouldn't
take
even
the Astros.
ask.
Peter, I hope you're right.
I know. I don't want him. I don't
Trust
want the
me, like,
Astros.
I like what the Mariners are building, but
The Mariners are an easy out in the playoffs. Like it'd be so much better for them in the
the
playoffs.
Astros are just so freaking battle tested, and they just don't. I don't know, man. Just they
Welcome
don't
to
die.
my world for the last 18 years with Tom Brady.
But it feels like the Astros are just, I don't know, man. I think the Astros are, I would equate them to the Yankees. That's how I would equate them. Of the early 2000s, where they were just constantly there. But let's start with the Yankees, right? Why not, right? Let's do it. Yankees
Early on.
Yankees win total is set at 91.5. Their odds to win the division are at plus 195. So it feels like the Yankees are a team like the Astros, in which people don't like this year. There's still some question marks surrounding the pitching staff. What do we think? Matt, we'll start with you. What do you think of the Yankees?
I'm ready to go in. No, hard under. Garrett
Hard
Cole don't
under.
got sticky stuff. No, at least you have a better catch. Wait, who's their backup catcher now? Oh, they got someone from that trade, didn't they? No.
You're right. Who is their catcher going to be? Obviously, Gary's gone.
I'm mad about
Whoever
it.
it is, it's an
because-
upgrade. Whoever it is, it's an
It's an
upgrade.
upgrade, yeah.
Who is it?
But they screwed themselves on Trevor's story. Like they're the reasons they cursed themselves on not getting Carlos.
Oh yeah,
Correa
it's
and
that
Trevor
Ben.
Story.
It's that kid from Toronto. I mean, Minnesota. Ben. Oh, what's his last name?
Uzuma, what's it?
Ben Revol.
Yeah, that guy. Yep, that guy. The 24-year-old, 25-year-old kid. Yes, him.
Maybe it'll be better. But no, hard under. Justin, just stop.
Okay, Peter.
Maybe not hard under, but yeah, I have the under. I just don't trust their pitching staff. They have
They can
Garrett
get
Cole,
90
obviously. I mean, maybe, but Luis Severino has to stay healthy, and then after that, they don't have anybody. They don't have a shortstop. I thought they were gonna sign somebody, but Brian Cashman apparently is too cheap. They should fire Brian Cashman.
Poverty
Cashman
franchise.
Poverty franchise. I just don't get it. I know they gotta re-sign Aaron Judge, which
Mhm.
please do, because he's a guaranteed loser. So I don't know.
Jesus.
Hard under, I
This
guess.
Yankee hate is interesting. I'm gonna consensus here. I'm gonna take the under. I think they win. I don't think it's like a hard under. Like I don't think they're gonna be bad. Matt, do you think they're gonna be bad?
83 wins.
So that's kind of bad. You
I think they're
bad?
gonna no, like 85 wins. Yeah.
I think they win like 87, 88. Like I don't think that's like outlandish. There's still question marks surrounding the pitching, like you said. Obviously, a lot of what they have going for them is going to rely on Luis Severino, like you said, who I love. I know he's a Yankee. I love Severino. I've loved him for years. Pedro Martinez protege is what they called him for years. I love Severino. Hopefully he can stay healthy for his sake, his career's sake. But I'm not convinced he can do that. As Matt says, Garrett Cole can't use his sticky stuff. He's another question mark. You look at what they did this offseason. It feels like a lot of people thought they were a shoo-in to land a guy like Trevor Story. Didn't come to fruition as he landed
How
up in
didn't they
Boston.
get Robbie Ray?
Or Robbie Ray. Yeah, that's another one that seemed like an obvious choice. Now, are they holding off because they just have to pay Judge? Or are they kind of waiting for something else?
Unless they got Sean Manaea.
Maybe, right?
I already hate Sean Manaea, so this would be even better for me.
I think the Yankees aren't going to like sit there and let their pitching destroy them. I think they'll probably make an addition at the deadline, but I still feel like they have a lot of injury concerns. How's Stanton going to do? He's getting up there in terms of durability, in terms of age as well. I have some concerns.
I do like the Rizzo signing though.
I like Anthony Rizzo too. I do like him, but I'm going to take the under 88 wins, which isn't, and again, you have to also take into effect that the AL East could be the best division in baseball this year.
Oh,
so
easily
that also has to come into your thinking because 91. So DraftKings saying they can win 92 games just seems like a lot, and especially in that division when you got to play the Blue Jays, the Red Sox,
last year
in Tampa. Yeah, but it feels like the Blue Jays are better this year. I think that's if the Blue Jays can stay healthy, they'll be better. And I think the Red Sox made some upgrades. I don't know. I take the under though. I think we're all consensus. Matt says they win 83. I say like 88, and Peter says like 85. Let's go to the Toronto Blue Jays now. The Blue Jays, a lot of people like them this year in the AL East, even in the American League. They're the favorite to win the division. DraftKings has them set at 92.5 wins. They are the favorite to win the division at plus 175. Peter, what do you think of the Blue Jays? You're a Blue Jays guy, aren't you?
No, I had the over. I'm going to pick the slight under. I think they're going to win 91 games. I like the Matt Chapman. I like what they're doing. Robbie Ray's tough to replace, and they're going to bank on Bo Bichette and Vlad to put up their 30, 120. They're going to be a really good team. They might be the best team in the AL, but I don't know. That division's tough.
A lot of it has to do, in my opinion, with health and having all the new pieces fit together, which I think is possible. I'm going to like the over. I think they win like 93, 94. I think they're a good team. I love Vlad Guerrero Jr. I think he's going to be an MVP candidate this year. Like, I think he might end up winning the MVP in the American League. And I like the over here. I really do. I love what they were able to do in the offseason.
Don't sleep on George Springer either.
Obviously, yeah. Again, Springer was an addition they made last year. Who it went under the radar, honestly, because didn't he sign at the end of?
Yeah, early.
Then he got hurt.
We signed early,
so
whatever it was. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, you're right. It was early. You're right, Matt.
Yeah, it feels like right as the season ended.
But nobody talked about Springer. It feels like nobody really talked about him last year. And if he's healthy and they're gearing up, ready to go, it's tough to not like this Blue Jays team. They also could have a advantage in terms of playing in Canada with the vaccine mandate. So,
sorry,
guys like Aaron Judge, and who knows who else that could also play to advantage for them at home. Not saying it's like a end all be all, but
Chris Sale.
Chris Sale's another one. There's a ton of them, but that could also come into effect. Matt, what do you think?
That's I'm going with the vaccine mandate is putting me on the over just because there are a substantial amount of players in the AL East that are not vaccinated that can, with their loss not in the lineup, will give them more wins and losses against the AL East.
Yeah, and it's not like I said, it's not like they're get 30 plus wins because
nothing crazy. One or two.
Even if it adds like 2 or 3, like you're playing a Sunday afternoon game and the Yankees can't play, Aaron Judge can't play, and the Yankees have no offense that day and they lose 3-0. And maybe if Judge was there, it's different. Maybe it isn't. But stuff like that kind of just can make a difference, especially in a highly contested division like the AL East. Let's head to the Tampa Bay Rays. Their win total is set at 89.5. They are listed at plus 320 to win the division. The Rays, I feel like they're kind of forgotten right now because everyone's talking about how the Blue Jays are on the rise. It feels like this Trevor Story acquisition is making the Red Sox kind of in headlines. The Yankees, I feel like they're always in headlines, but the Rays, they're there, always there. What do we think about the Rays, Peter?
Yeah, I have the over. I'm gonna just pick the Rays until they show that they don't top the division. I don't get how the Rays are good. They don't have pitching, but they figure it out every time. I mean, they added Corey Kluber. He got shelled by the Red Sox in spring training, but I don't know. I mean, Juan Franco is the best shortstop ever. So I'm gonna pick them until they show me that they can't win. I mean,
Fair.
they
Fair.
just
I mean,
don't make sense. They make no sense. They won
I
100
won't
games last
argue
year
with
and
you.
just
yeah. I
is
take
what it
the
is.
under. I think they win like 88 games. Like I think 88, 87. I think they're going to take. Look, they won 100 games last year, and they were a wagon in the regular season. The playoffs were a different animal we saw, but I think they're going to
they
take a
didn't even
slight
lose.
step back.
They haven't lost anybody. Well, Nelson Cruz, but
Yeah, that's the keep going. I don't want to like. I guess I'll just go now. But that's
go.
the reason they lost players. They didn't add except I guess you can say like Wander Franco will have a full season now and stuff like that. But I don't know. Corey Kluber is a minus in my book because I don't think he can pitch anymore. So I don't know. I don't like the Rays at all. They didn't add anyone except Wander Franco. They probably who's there. Do they have another guy coming up? I feel like they have another guy coming up too.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Right, yeah, that's why I'm like. There's like something I heard like rumbling, like just waiting another guy.
And like they got
they have like
pantsed in
Shane
the play-
Baez and like
Yeah.
Shane McClanahan.
That's who I'm
They
thinking.
got pantsed in the playoffs, like pantsed. Like,
I was
we
at
all
that
remember
game.
3-1 in the ALDS. Like they got obliterated. And did they take game one of that series? Did they lose 3 straight? Did the Red Sox beat them 3 straight or no? Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't know. I just know how it ended. I can look it up.
We all know how it ended. But moral of the story is, did the Rays get exposed a little bit in that playoff quick exit? Maybe. And again, I think they win 88 games. I think what they've been able to do over the last.
Oh, you're right.
5
They
years.
lost 3 straight.
Yeah, so they lost 3 straight. Like they got obliterated in the last 3 games, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I think they lost
Yes,
game 1.
yes, because they ordered champagne. They ordered the champagne after going up, and then yes,
Now I remember. Yeah,
Yep.
but they won game 1 at home, and then they got shelled the rest of the series.
Mhm.
If I think that's how it went.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think someone mentioned Nelson Cruz, right?
yeah. Me and
Like
Peter
someone-
both did.
Yeah, someone mentioned Nelson Cruz. Now, granted, Nelson Cruz isn't this life changer, but he does provide some pop in the lineup. Let's head to the Baltimore Orioles, who are currently projected to be at the basement of the AL East. Their win total is set at 62.5 wins. Their odds for the division are plus 15,000. Making sure I was getting those zeros right. 15,000. What do we think about the Orioles, Peter? Is it worth throwing a couple bucks on those odds with the Baltimore Orioles set at 62.5?
No way. I have them. I wrote down over. I'm going to change it. Just pick the under. John Means is fine. Cedric Mullins is fine. That's it. Sorry.
That's it? Yeah, that's about it.
It's so bad.
I give them respect though. I give them more respect than the A's right now. They actually offered Correa the 10 years, 300. Or so like I give them.
I saw
You can
that.
see that they want. They want a cornerstone to build around, and they wanted Correa to be it. But
Now, who's it going to be? This Orioles.
They don't
team,
re-sign Manny Machado.
Yeah, facts. I think I'm going to take the under on this one. I think they win like 60 games. I don't know.
Gotta
This
be the
division's
under.
so difficult. Like they're gonna have to deal with
I just feel
4.
bad. I feel bad. For
Oh
them.
yeah, absolutely. Like the Orioles are a team that are looking for an identity. They had it for a couple years with Buck Showalter and Manny Machado, like you said. But ever since then, they just have not been able to really establish anything. Like
Mhm.
literally anything, whether it's offensively, whether it's pitching, bullpen, you name it. Like they haven't been able to really build anything that is ready yet. Now, a lot of people are like, well, you know what? They're drafting well and they're going to be good in 2025, which sure, call me then. But right now it's just it feels like everybody else in the AL East are playing to win the division now. Well, the Rays are obviously doing what the Rays always do, but the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox are going for it now, and the Orioles are kind of just.
When they get a good team, catch me down at Camden Yards like every other weekend. I love that ballpark.
I've never been, but that's what everybody says.
Beautiful.
Go to a Red Sox game down there. They're like
That's
$10.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. That's what everybody says. Never. The only opposing ballpark other than Fenway has been the Rogers Center in Toronto. I've been there.
Just don't walk around.
Yeah,
Don't go straight too far away from the
Oh, yeah,
ballpark.
true. You can see Ray Lewis outside of the
the
Ravens.
statue.
Just
Yeah.
chilling.
Have you been to any other stadium besides Camden Yards in terms of baseball?
Old Yankee Stadium.
Oh, I've never been there. I've never
I
been
know.
to
I'm
Yankee
just
Stadium.
I just have Camden Yards, I think.
The
I might
Rogers
be
Center
seeing
was nice.
JetBlue Park this summer, but we'll see.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
There you go. Last but not least, let's talk about the Boston Red Sox. DraftKings has them set at 85.5 wins, and their odds to win the division are plus 550. So DraftKings says they're finishing fourth in the division. So Matt, we'll start with Matt. Yeah, let's go with Matt. Matt brings the energy and the passion. I love it. Matt, let's go. What do you think?
Okay,
Red Sox
so-
hat.
Yes, I do. I purposely switched from my Bruins hat to my Red Sox hat just for the recording. So the acquisition of Trevor Story, I automatically think puts them above the Rays. So at least third place, if anything. So the Rays will finish fourth. The Red Sox will be in third. But I don't trust our pitching. If I'm going to be real here, I think Chris Sale is going to be out for a while. I don't think he's going to be ready until like June, July.
But you still like the over?
Just because homer pick. I'll just be real. It's a homer pick. Like I do think they can beat up on teams that are bad. And I do they know how they have the Yankees number. They've had it for a long time. I think they have the Rays number after last season too. I just don't think they can beat the Blue Jays.
It's fair. Peter, what do you think?
Yeah, I have the over reluctantly. I almost picked the under. That Erod division is going to be really bad because
Erod to the
Eval-
Yankees, yep.
Yeah.
Well-
We should have on Erod forever. And now
I
that
don't
he's
know.
gone, we're
After
like,
Evaldi, even though he has elbow injuries too, like it's just question mark Chris Sale, question mark James Paxton, question mark Rich Hill, question mark Walker,
Yeah,
question mark
Yeah.
Whitlock, question even Houck. Like I don't know if they're gonna last.
Houck
They
has
have
not had the best spring training.
They have
He's
the
been kinda
best one
rocky.
through. Yeah, they have the best 1 through 5. I hate Bradley in the outfield. But yeah,
It's
is what it is.
close. I take 80. I take the over. I'm in the same boat as Peter. I think they can win 89 games. Like I don't necessarily rule that out. I understand the concern about Chris Sale, and I agree with Matt. I think he'll probably be out till like June, which if that ultimately means he is going to be full go from like June 1st on, I'm cool with it. Like I'd rather have him miss time early than late. Now you look at the acquisition of Trevor Story. I like that. I think we all do in terms of the infield with Devers, Bogarts, Trevor Story, and then if Tristan Cassis can play first base at some point in the year, that's big. And then you look at the outfield. I have concerns with, like you said, Jackie Bradley. I also don't like how Alex Cora said JD Martinez is going to play some left field against lefties, which I don't love because I don't believe JD Martinez should be playing the field at this point in his career.
It looks like he's wearing clown shoes when he's out
Oh, he
there.
has to. Who's the fourth
know.
outfielder?
That's
They
what I'm saying.
Option
That could be
Duran, which makes
addressed.
no sense. But
Yeah.
Is that official? They already did that?
yeah, they did that like a few days ago.
I didn't see that yet.
They
Damn.
need to address that. And again, that's like a minor. That's not like a huge hole. That's not like, oh my God. I think the oh my God is the pitching staff, like you guys said. Rich Hill, Michael Walker were the two guys they brought in. I like Rich Hill more than I like Michael Walker because Rich Hill, I mean, he's a proven veteran. He's proven that he can eat up innings, and I think he'll be able to do that here. Michael Walker is more of a question mark, in my opinion. I like Tanner Houck, like you guys said. Again, he is a question mark. He hasn't had the best spring training. Garrett Whitlock, he's going to be out of the bullpen. I think if he can pick up where he was last year, that's big. My guy, Matt Barnes, has looked good in spring training. That's positive. And you look at other things offensively here, you would imagine that Rafael Devers would keep going in terms of his ascendment, right? He's still looking for a contract. You would imagine that he would continue to provide a huge spark in the offense. I like the over here. I do. I'm not like, I think 88 wins isn't like far-fetched. I really don't. I mean, this team was, a lot of people thought this team was going to the World Series in the playoffs. I mean, that series against Houston, it was a dogfight.
I would have won so much
sure.
money. It's so stupid. So
I don't mean to bring that up, but the Red Sox were right there.
To win the
Red Sox.
ALCS.
Red Sox were right
Was
there.
that a preseason bet?
Yeah,
Damn.
that was a preseason bet. The Red Sox were right there, and they came up short, but it feels like they have some things that they can build upon into 2022, which I do like. Like, I think they identified guys like Garrett Whitlock and Tanner Houck That's big. But can Sale come back and be healthy? We hope.
Mhm.
Will Trevor Story be all right at second base? We hope. Will JD Martinez show his age? We hope not. Like, there's question
I
marks.
think he's fine, but I think he's gone after this year.
Oh yeah, I mean that's in my opinion. That's almost like a foregone conclusion.
I
But-
really don't. I really don't.
Really? I
Yeah.
think so I think he
No,
was.
because Dahlback's transition to D or Cassis. One of the two is going to be the
No,
DH.
they should just put Dahlback in left field or right
Honestly,
field.
Peter, it wouldn't shock me if they moved him at some point this year if it meant to upgrade somewhere else.
I also
would-
like
I
we
wouldn't
have a
shock me
lot
at all.
of trade pieces for this season. A lot.
Yeah.
So like we can trade Dahlback or Arroyo, no problem. Without any repercussion. Like we
But
can
I
get
feel like they might need Arroyo now.
yes,
feel
why
like-
for the fourth outfielder.
Yeah, I feel like they could use him there. That's
He-
why I kind of want to keep Arroyo around.
And he made a off the wall, not off the wall, but a jump onto the wall catch out in right field today.
I like Arroyo. I like his
Yeah.
heart. Like I feel like
I
he's
do too.
versatile. I like how they have got different guys that can do that. Kike, same kind of thing. We all know that he can do anything. And as much as we're gonna shit on Jackie Bradley, we all know what he can do is in terms of playing defense in center field.
Do you
Alex
want him
Verdugo,
playing center field though?
No, he's in right field.
not like no, I'm not saying like a like an everyday thing, but we all know what he's done. I should say Alex
don't
Verdugo
care.
is somebody that nobody talks about, who is somebody that I really like.
Mhm.
Do you guys like Alex Verdugo? And it feels
Oh, yeah.
it feels like he
You
doesn't
have
get
to.
talked
He's the only thing that they got from the Mookie trade. The only thing
he-
they got. The
No,
only
I
thing.
like
Well,
Connor
Jeter
Wong a
Downs
lot.
too.
Jeter Downs
I like-
sucked. Jeter
But
Downs
he's
is
he
terrible.
had a rough year. Yes.
No, I'm on Team Connor Wong. He is next door neighbors with Evaldi in Texas. Fun fact.
Did not know
And
that.
he was his catching partner all season, all winter.
So is that a positive for you?
Yes, I'm a big Connor Wong guy because you have to keep Kevin Pilecki. He's the heart and soul of the team, Pilecki. But
Heck,
I was surprised when they brought back thing. I guess they had
Vasquez?
to. Yeah, Vasquez. Yeah,
There
I
was
didn't think
rumors
they
that they
would.
were going to move him. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't think they would, but they did early on too.
We'll see how things shake out with the Red Sox. But Peter, are you going to put your faith in them like you did last year in the preseason?
No,
Now?
actually, no.
Okay, you're not.
Too many question marks on the pitching staff.
And there wasn't last year.
Yeah, Peter, what made you do it last
Uh,
year? No offense. No, I mean, I'm
no,
not,
because their win total last year was like 78, 77.
That's fair.
yeah, but you had them in the ALCS and stuff.
No, but that's out of spite. That's a $10 to win 600. That's out of
Okay.
just stupid.
So
But,
the value is you're saying the value isn't there this time around.
yeah, I don't know.
I
My-
still think
yeah.
there is some value with the Red Sox.
I guess they got
They're a great value pick to win the division.
Yeah, I think there is value for that. I absolutely agree with you.
If especially if the Blue Jays get an injury bug, the division is wide open.
Yeah, and if the Yankees don't move if they don't acquire an arm at the deadline, that's
Poverty,
another.
they can't.
Oh man, is Matt been on the Bo Sox talk about the Yankees?
Yeah, I've shit on Justin on there.
Probably.
So, who do you guys like to win the AL East as we wrap up here?
Rays.
I'm going to take the Blue Jays.
Don't hype up the Rays, Peter.
I don't know. I feel like that's obvious, and obviously I'm not picking the Yankees and like the
You want to
Orioles,
talk about
Orioles.
poverty franchise, Matt? I mean,
I know they're the real poverty.
that's a
franchise.
legitimate poverty franchise.
They somehow
Jesus.
still win.
I love that
Uh,
roof they got there.
I don't know. I've started to hate the Rays more than I hate the Yankees. So I think this is another spiteful pick.
Why? That's so like. Why?
I don't know. I don't like the way they do things.
I
Other
hate the
than
roof.
I
Wander
hate the
the
Franco.
roof of the
Rosarania.
ballpark.
He's like number one mortal enemy, number one. Like I wanted to throw something at him at the game. And his bright ass yellow cleats, yellow glove, like him and Wander Franco, they just aggravate me because they're good and I can't do anything about it.
Hey, it is.
But Matt,
what
who
it
do you
is.
like to win the division?
Oh, it's the Blue Jays.
Okay.
If all goes right for them, they have no excuse. They have no if they're not injured, they have no excuse to not win it all.
Fair. That's
I'm also
good.
transitioning to the NL, but Dave Roberts is an awful manager and is way too confident. I saw his thing like,
Bro, I'd be confident.
we are gonna win. I
No,
don't.
no, I'd be confident too. You serious?
I hate Dave Roberts.
You
I
like
guess
Kevin
he's a
Cash?
Boston legend, but
You like
he's so
Kevin Cash?
cocky.
What about Kevin Cash, Matt? He's a good manager.
Kevin Cash, he's the analytics god.
I
No.
don't know who I'd rather have, Roberts or I think Roberts is probably a better.
No, I take
Kevin
Kevin
Cash.
Cash. Yeah, easy.
Mm.
Dave Roberts shits his
Dave
pants
Roberts is
every single
handed-
time.
Yeah, he's handed a roster. Tim Cash is like, all right, I got $50 million. All right,
I'll make
Yeah.
it work.
I'll make
But
it work.
The only thing I will say is does Kevin Cash like does he do anything? Does he kind of
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
does he listen to what they say upstairs and he does it?
Oh yeah, I think so. That too.
Does
I think
anybody
Dave
do
Roberts-
anything anymore? No.
Dave Roberts is more. I feel like he's more personable with his players. That's all. It feels like Kevin Cash is just like a. All right, take him
All right.
out.
All right, nerd.
42 pitches. Let's get him out. I feel like Dave Roberts
Get
at
his
least a
little
little bit has like that
movie.
old baseball mentality a little bit, which I do like. But- So those are our American League division picks. Anyone else
winning
have
the
anything?
AL.
Anything else to say in the? Oh, who's gonna win the AL? Oh, Peter, you start
Mariners over the Rays.
in the ALCS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
Matt,
Over
who do
the-
you got?
Matt, you said Mariners over who?
Rays.
Rays. No,
Just cause.
It's Blue Jays. Like, what do I want to? Then it's a wild card. It's Blue Jays and who? This is what it should like. If it should be, it's going to be Astros, Mariners, White Sox, or Tigers. Like, I see the Tigers making a magical run. I don't know why.
I'm gonna go. I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go White Sox come out of the American League. I'm gonna pick them. I'm gonna go White Sox, and I think they probably beat like the Astros or something. I actually.
Astros. That's terrible.
Oh, you're right. I'll take White Sox over the Blue Jays in the ALCS. That'll be my pick. I think I went the White Sox last year and it didn't pan out. Let's go twice, Tony La Russa. Going twice, baby.
I can give
Anyone
you a
else have
prediction
anything on the American League that you want to throw
Wait,
in
what?
here?
Said I can give you what you said last year.
I know I said the White Sox. I'm almost positive I said the White
Yeah,
Sox.
you both had the White Sox.
Oh,
Or-
I think
Yankees, White Sox, and then Jason had the A's and Peter had the Astros.
well, at least we're a little different this year, so that's good. That makes me happy. So
you had
I
the
hope
A's?
last year I did. Everyone liked the A's
Yeah,
last
the
year.
A's were big last year. That's
They
why
won
I'm so
86
mad they
games,
sold.
man. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't make the playoffs, but like, so they won 86 games. So that's a W. So next week we'll talk about the National League, Peter. Is that what we're gonna do next week? National League?
Yeah, National League MVP Cy Young.
That'll be
World Series.
loads of fun.
Who do I get to look forward to next week? Who do I get to listen to?
I won't say anything because I can't
Gonna
confirm this one. I
Keep,
can't
keep it under wraps.
keep it under wraps. I don't know if I can get the big
Hey, if we
man,
can't get him, you can come back on.
I don't know if I can get the big man from his porch in Colorado. We'll have to.
Oh my
we'll have to see.
God, Mets are gonna win 100.
We'll have to see. That's TBD.
I'm praying.
But Matt, if the mystery man out in Colorado can't make it, you'll get the call out of the bullpen.
All right, I'll be warming up.
So this is a long episode. I hope people like the baseball talk because it's finally baseball season.
Matt, 3 minutes on Tyreek Hill. 1 minute on
Okay.
Tyreek Hill.
Matt, you want me to set
All
the timer?
Yeah, you can give it to me.
Now I'll mute him if he because
If I go over. All right.
No, 3 minutes is too long. 60 seconds. 60
All right.
seconds.
Well, all right. The Patriots are the poverty franchise are acting.
I didn't
like
start the
it's
timer, man.
I don't care. You're still getting ridiculed.
Oh
The
my
Patriots-
God.
No, go
The
ahead.
Patriots don't know how to spend money. Bill Belichick thinks it's 1980 that he can just sign. Who'd you guys? The safety, Jabril Peppers. You
Jabril
guys are
Peppers.
acting like this is the greatest signing.
I liked him in college. I did.
He's like
Oh,
80.
man.
He's not 80,
You
he's
guys-
26.
He's gonna tear his ACL trying to catch after Tyreek.
He already
Hill.
tore his ACL.
Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I know he's recovering from one, so he's gonna tear it again. So Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, you guys are gonna have no clue what to do. The only team I'm afraid of is the Bears. Not the Bills, not the Bears. The Bills scare me because they
I'm
know
afraid of
actually
the Bears too.
the Bears. But you guys are smoked. You guys are finishing last. The Jets might finish in front of you.
Peter, I hope
All
you
right,
clip.
don't-
Peter, you gotta clip
A,
this.
I'm clipping that. B,
Clip
if
it.
That, no.
What do you think of Mike
I'll place
McDaniel,
the
Matt?
bet
Do you like
now.
his Matt? Do you like Mike McDaniel's undershirt?
I was just saying, Mike McDaniels and his undershirt are gonna run the league.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Big
I
under-
still don't know if I'm in on Mike McDaniels. I'm not as high as everyone is on him. I don't like. I'm very worried about your analytics. Don't worry. I'm looking at the timer. You stopped it, by the way. That's
You know, I thought I did. That's what. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
I win.
Matt, I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna bet Tua to win MVP.
I know you said that.
You laugh, but that's real.
Yeah, it's.
Peter, I'm gonna ask you to
Listen,
see I'm gonna ask you to see the ticket, like you always ask me to see my.
Yes. All right. So what I'm gonna say is, this is Tua's last season. If he doesn't win, he's out.
That's it.
I'm done.
You said that last year.
No.
Yep. Yeah, you did say.
Did I?
Yep,
Did
yep.
I? Yeah. No.
No, this is it.
We have too much money invested. We can't dick around now.
5, 4.
I also
3,
think the
2,
only reason we're spending
1.
money is because we're trying to
That's
hide
it,
the whole
Peter.
not spending money thing. Because because Brian Flores.
You didn't mute him.
I miss Brian Flores.
Nah, you can keep going. It's Rico and the Patriots. It's fine.
He did that in the first 10 seconds. Now he was roasting Tua.
Yeah. No, I miss Brian Flores.
Matt, maybe we'll see you next week.
Hey, I'll be back.
Potentially see you next week. If not, I'm sure we'll catch you at some point, whether it's AFC East preview or maybe we'll bring you back on for something else. But Matt, thank you for joining us. Always fun to have you. And Matt, I'm sure are you going to Red Sox opening day? You probably are, right?
It's in New York. I do know people going to New York to go.
Oh, I meant the Fenway opening.
No, I have too much going on at school.
Okay, that's disappointing. I thought for sure you would be there.
Oh, really? You're a shoo-in.
Yeah, I thought I would have bet my life Matt would have said, "Yeah, I'm going." All right. Well, don't catch Matt at Fenway.
Is after they won the World Series.
Okay, fair enough.
I wish.
All right, Peter, you got anything else?
Go Mariners. Go Chris Rock.
Wow,
Stay hot.
Okay.